watching our programming today. We're at Tarrant County College, and Fort Worth Film Collaborative courses have just started here. I'm here to welcome Mr. Sam Brock, who happens to be a student in the program, to complete certification so he can work in the film production industry locally here in Tarrant County. How are you doing today, Sam?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Great, great. Tell me, how did you hear about the Fort Worth Film Collaborative and all of the partnerships and everything here in Tarrant County?
Well, I think I heard about it last year when they first introduced the program. I think I might have seen the press release and things like that, maybe some stuff on social media, and then I researched on the website and watched the promo video and things like that, and that's how I first heard about it.
So, have you ever been or worked in the film industry before?
Not professionally. I moved back. I grew up in Texas and moved back here probably about 7 years ago. And then when I came back, I was looking for interesting things to do here. And I joined sort of like an amateur filmmaking group, which I think is now called the Dallas Film Crew. And so they put us together in these groups, and we just sort of picked parts, roles in a film crew, wrote a script from scratch, and ended up being producer, script supervisor, and boom mic operator.
Wow.
And we were one of the few groups that completed our actual film, but we had about a 6-minute film that we completed. So that's kind of the first way I got into it.
Great fast track introduction to the film industry here.
So it's pretty interesting.
Great. From what I hear, Fort Worth Film Collaborative, the commission itself, has really sparked lots of interest locally and nationally because of the opportunity for people who are interested in film production to stay right here in Tarrant County and work on major motion pictures, commercials, and everything else that entails. Where do you hope to be with your career as you finish the Fort Worth Film Collaborative certifications? What is your, big dream in the film industry?
Well, so I'm scheduled to complete the grip and gaffer track because there's 3 different tracks, but that'll be the first one I can complete at the end of the summer. And 101 Studios, as we know, is one of the studios that's helped spearhead this new program.
Correct.
And I would love to work with them, but I'd love to work on, I guess my main interest is in television and film, and just kind of getting involved wherever I can to learn by osmosis and just be able to help out wherever I can and just kind of work my way up.
Sam, why don't you tell us a little bit about your experience with the film industry? Were you ever interested as a child in becoming involved in the film industry?
I don't think I ever really saw it as a career when I was a child because my dad was really big into me getting into like computer science or engineering or something like that. So he kind of pushed me towards that direction. It was only as I got older that I felt like I wanted to express myself more creatively. And I've kind of looked at music and film and those sorts of outlets as ways to do that. I did sort of fall into working in the performing arts over the last several years, so I've done a lot of stuff on the production side of the performing arts locally. And it's only recently, after finding out about this program, that I thought, oh, maybe I could transition into the film industry.
Yeah. They're kind of interchangeable.
A little bit, yeah, there's some overlap,
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the certifications that are required for working locally in the film industry.
I know there's some of the studios work with unions, so there's the IATSE, and they have certain requirements. And I think some of those requirements can be met by going through some of the programs here at TCC. So like I mentioned, I'm in the grip gaffer track, and then there's hair and makeup track, and the set construction track. I think you can get some of those qualifications through any of those tracks.
Yeah. Well, from what I hear, as far as the cameras and the technology with sound and what have you, those are definitely going to be improving as we continue on in the film industry. And you mentioned already that you have some experience because your dad was in technology and what have you. If there was one thing that you can think of that you would like to see as an improvement or as an addition in the film industry, what would it be? as far as the equipment and everything that's available to us?
Oh, in the program? I mentioned this during a conference call we had with John Hermanson. He was nice enough to talk to us as a class. And I mentioned that it'd be great to get some out of the classroom exposure to like a large like professional production. And so that would be really great to just like, even if we're not really doing anything, just to have maybe a small group of us there on set to observe how things are done. You know, in
I've heard it
situations.
said many times that the amount of exposure that you get by actually being on a set from watching by osmosis, that you mentioned that before, is incomparable to the classroom. You actually get it in live action as it, you know, it's happening right then. So
right.
yeah, you're, especially if you're really interested in the film industry, you're going to just soak it all in. Yeah, I see that. I think if it was me looking at that same question, being a disabled, I actually have an issue with hearing and have other limitations as far as continuous, let's say, logistical moves and things like that with picking up weight, putting down weight. But also I think what I would really love to see is AI used more in the technology part in the filming, like voice recognition, telling the camera, hey, let's zoom in another couple of feet. Let's zoom back to give us that so-called feel in the scene. Let's do a close-up, you know, telling the camera, having that speech, that would be just so awesome. Also with audio, you know, being able to speak the prompts, as they say in AI, would be so great, especially for people who are life challenged in the realm of maybe being disabled in a wheelchair, or somebody that can't stand for long periods of time, or people who are hearing or sight impaired. Right. You know, I really think that as far as creativity goes, having the ability and the chance to work in a field that you grew up watching on TV and in movie theaters would be such a blessing to be able to continue doing that, you know, in with those kind of abilities.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you think?
I agree. Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a lot of kind of like uncertainty about AI right now, you know, and it replacing certain parts we don't want it to replace, and yeah, it's just something we have to manage to where it does provide opportunity and it helps us out in the areas that we want it to without it sort of taking over the areas we don't want it to take over.
Right, like jobs. We don't want it to take over our jobs, of course. Well, it's been such a pleasure interviewing you today. I just want to thank you for being here today. And my name is Amy McIntyre, here again at TCC for the Fort Worth Film Collaborative News.